he has to go to prison for stealing from the church.
Yes.
The city of Abeokuta had many churches, but none was more respected than Covenant of Grace Cathedral. Every Sunday, hundreds of worshippers filled the sanctuary, eager to hear the teachings of Head Bishop Samuel Adeyemi, a man admired across Ogun State for his powerful sermons and charitable works. Among the congregation was Deacon John Adibeo. John was not famous. He was not wealthy. He rarely spoke during meetings and never sought attention. Yet everyone respected him because of his humility, discipline, and unwavering faith. People called him the silent deacon. One Saturday night, John experienced a troubling dream. In the dream, he stood inside the cathedral alone. The altar was brightly lit, but darkness surrounded the bishop. John watched as Bishop Samuel counted bundles of money with hands covered in a thick black shadow. The shadow moved like smoke. Then a voice echoed through the sanctuary. "Do not partake from polluted hands." John woke suddenly. His heart was racing. He spent the rest of the night praying. By morning, the dream still disturbed him. He tried convincing himself it was only a nightmare. After all, Bishop Samuel was a respected servant of God. Surely the dream meant nothing. When Sunday service began, John joined the congregation as usual. The choir sang beautifully. The sermon was powerful. Everything appeared normal. Then communion time arrived. The church grew silent as Bishop Samuel personally carried the tray of bread down the center aisle. One by one, members received communion. When he reached John, hundreds of eyes watched respectfully. The bishop smiled and offered him the bread. But John remained seated. His hands stayed folded. His mouth remained shut. The entire sanctuary froze. Whispers spread instantly. The bishop's smile disappeared. No one in the history of the church had ever refused communion from the head bishop. The silence inside Covenant of Grace Cathedral felt heavier than stone. Bishop Samuel stood frozen, still holding the communion bread before Deacon John. The congregation watched in disbelief. "Deacon John," the bishop said carefully, "is something wrong?" John lowered his eyes. "I cannot receive it, sir." Gasps echoed across the sanctuary. Several elders immediately exchanged worried glances. Nobody had ever challenged the bishop publicly. The communion service ended awkwardly, and whispers filled every corner of the church. Some members believed John had lost his mind. Others thought he had fallen into sin. After the service, the church council requested a private meeting. John entered the conference room calmly. Bishop Samuel sat at the head of the table surrounded by pastors, elders, and deacons. "John," one elder began, "you have embarrassed this ministry before the entire congregation. Explain yourself." For several moments, John remained silent. Then he described the dream. The room grew uncomfortable. Some leaders dismissed it immediately. "A dream is not evidence," one pastor said. John nodded. "I agree." "Then why refuse communion?" another demanded. John took a deep breath. Because the dream was not the only thing. The room became quiet. John then revealed something he had overheard that morning. Before the service, he had arrived early to prepare the sanctuary. While walking near the administrative offices, he accidentally overheard a conversation between the bishop and a businessman. The man was offering a large sum of money. In exchange, church land would be secretly sold to a property developer known for corrupt dealings. The land had originally been donated for a future school and orphanage. Several leaders stared at the bishop in shock. Others immediately denied the accusation. Bishop Samuel's face remained expressionless. "Those are serious allegations," he said. News of the confrontation spread quickly throughout Covenant of Grace Cathedral. By Tuesday evening, members across Abeokuta were discussing little else. Some believed Deacon John had acted courageously. Others insisted he had dishonored God's servant. The church council decided to investigate the allegations before making any judgment. A special committee was formed. Financial records were reviewed. Property documents were examined. Phone records and meeting schedules were checked carefully. At first, nothing unusual appeared. Then one discovery changed everything. The committee found documents showing that negotiations for the church land had indeed taken place. Several meetings had been held with the development company. Large sums of money were mentioned in private correspondence. The evidence was troubling. Yet something still did not make sense. The church lawyers discovered that the proposed sale had never been approved by the church board, which was required under church policy. Someone had been acting alone. The investigation intensified. Days later, a businessman named Chief Bamedi was summoned for questioning. Faced with evidence, he finally confessed. He admitted offering money in exchange for the land. But his next statement shocked everyone. "The bishop rejected my offer," he said. The room fell silent. Chief Bamedi explained that he had tried repeatedly to persuade Bishop Samoa to approve the transaction. Each time, the bishop refused. When investigators asked about the conversation John overheard, the businessman revealed the truth. The bishop had been pretending to consider the offer while secretly gathering evidence against him. He had planned to expose the entire scheme to authorities. The committee members stared at one another. If that was true, then why had John received the disturbing dream? And why had he felt such overwhelming spiritual unease? That question remained.